Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
In financial news, stocks turned negative after a survey showed manufacturing activity in Kansas City region stalled in August. The Dow Jones Industrial Average wiped out its earlier gains, falling 20 points in late morning trading. The S&P 500 index fell 0.2% to 1,054, and the NASDAQ Composite shed 0.3% to 2,136. The market reversed its previous climb after the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City's manufacturing index, which measures productivity, fell to zero this month from 14 in July. The employment index turned to the negative territory, echoing other factory reports showing the sector is slowing. The Dow slid 0.2% to 10,040, weighed by a 1.3% drop in Kraft Foods. Cisco Systems, meanwhile, fell 1.2%. In U.S. news, the American military said the number of troops in Iraq had dropped below 50,000 in line with the Obama administration's deadline of August 31st for what it describes as the end of combat operations in the country. Both the administration and the military have promoted the date as a turning point in the tumultuous 7 years of America's presence here that has followed its invasion in March of 2003. To an unprecedented degree, the military has provided access to bases and commanders to commemorate the moment ahead of September 1st, when the mission will formally become what the military has called Advise and Assist. The American commander in Iraq, General Ray Ordinero, said about 49,700 troops remained here, and roughly that number would stay through next summer. That is less than a third of the people that were here during the American military buildup in 2007. Under an agreement between Iraq and the United States, those remaining troops are supposed to leave the country by 2011, though some Iraqi and American officials say that they believe the agreement may be renegotiated to allow for a longer American military presence here. The withdrawal comes at a precarious time in Iraq, where popular frustration is mounting at shoddy public services, namely a lack of electricity and the inability of the country's leaders to form a government more than 5 months after elections in March. For most Iraqis, the resistance has largely overshadowed the withdrawal itself. Insurgents have vowed to increase attacks, and while American officials say Iraqi security forces are prepared to accept a bigger role, they have been plagued by bombings and by drive-by shootings. In international news, gunmen from a drug cartel appear to have massacred 72 migrants from Central and South America who were on their way to the United States, a grisly event that marks the single biggest killing in Mexico's war on organized crime. Mexican Marines discovered the 72 bodies, 58 men and 14 women, on Tuesday after the lone survivor of the massacre, a wounded migrant from Ecuador, stumbled into a Navy checkpoint the previous day and told of being shot at a nearby ranch. When the Marines went to investigate, they were met with a hail of gunfire from cartel gunmen holed up in the ranch, which sits 90 miles from the U.S. border. One Marine and 3 alleged gunmen died during a 2-hour battle, which ended when the gunmen fled in a fleet of SUVs, leaving behind a cache of weapons. The Ecuadorian migrant told investigators that his captors identified themselves as members of the Zetas drug gang.
Hi, I'm Chef Tony, and now there's a knife so sharp you can cut a pineapple in midair. It's the Miracle Blade 3 Perfection Series. This is my all-purpose slicer, the ultimate in slicing knives. You'll also get Rock and Chop, rips through ribs, plus you'll receive my fillet and boning knife. Fillet fish right down to the skin. And my Chop and Scoop. Chop parsley and fresh herbs in seconds. Watch, flex, and scoop right to your favorite recipe. And you get my paring knife. Curved to peel fruits and veggies. I'll also send you 4 steak knives. Call now and you'll get my Perfection shears and a second Miracle Blade slicer absolutely free.
But wait, we'll send you a second complete set of knives free. Just imagine, that's now nearly $500 worth of knives for just one payment of only $39.95. And if you don't think the Miracle Blades are the best knives you've ever used, just return them for a full refund. So call now.
In entertainment news, Dish Network this week will be offering a video portal called DishOnline.com, becoming the latest distributor to provide online benefits to paying subscribers. All the major cable and satellite carriers are jostling to introduce their versions of TV Everywhere, a concept that's pioneered by Time Warner and Comcast already. extending the cable model to a new medium. It holds that paying customers should be able to access TV content in other ways, namely via the web. So far, it has been slow going, but the introduction by Dish Network indicates that some content providers are coming on board. Starting now, Dish Network customers will be able to view on its website for the first time shows from several cable networks, including Discovery Channel, HGTV, and MTV. Dave Shull, Dish's senior vice president for programming, said in an interview, "People are shifting where they watch video, and I want to shift with them." Dish is the second largest satellite carrier behind DirecTV with about 14 million customers. The DishOnline.com site will show some free video clips, but cable will be available only with a subscription. Free clips of the film Iron Man, for instance, may be available to any customer, but a full streaming version would be available only to pay TV subscribers or for a one-time rental fee. Some of the DishOnline.com features showcase what can happen when a customer's set-top box is connected to the internet. Customers with a top-of-the-line device will be able to view live television or any of the shows that they have recorded on their digital video recorder. Other distributors have raced to create similar offerings for their customers. Comcast, an early entrant, has a site called Fancast, which has some free videos but restricts other content to customers. It lets customers schedule DVR recordings but not watch them online. By organizing their hundreds of channels online, the carriers hope that they can stifle attempts by outsiders to do the same. In fashion news, technology can be a blessing or a curse. Shopping can be a delight or a nuisance. Put them together and your odds of having a good experience can get a little better. In the last several months, so many new shopping and fashion applications for cell phones have been introduced that searching for the best practically feels like shopping itself. Which mall finder should I use? Who's on top of the best sales? Of the latest crop of apps, only a handful are likely to become permanent additions to your phone. Here are a few now available for Apple devices that are worth checking out. Having a shopping guide while on the go can be incredibly helpful if you're trying to remember what block of Madison Avenue Prada is on. But most apps seem more targeted to the target customer than to the designer crowd. One exception is the Elle Shopping Guide, which offers a fairly comprehensive directory of stores around the country, with excellent listings and a feature that locates stores based on prominence. Another app that looks promising when it became available in June is Luster, which tracks sales and sends alerts to your phone whenever you are near a store marked as a favorite. Shopkick, introduced last week, goes further by sending you targeted messages when you're walking floor by floor at Macy's and lots of other stores. It also makes shopping a game in which the goal is to get large amounts of points by visiting stores, trying things on, or scanning certain items. In tech news, Google unveiled a way for web users in the U.S. to make calls through Gmail email service, further pushing into the internet calling business and ratcheting up competition with similar services such as Skype. At an event in San Francisco, Google said the new service, which will roll out this week, is free for calls in the United States and Canada at least until the end of the year, though there are costs to make international calls to landlines and mobile phones. Google said it hoped to later offer the service to international Gmail users and possibly to businesses. For Google, the move helps drive users to email, as well as the potential to add a feature to its software for business, called Google Apps. More than 200 million people currently use Gmail actively. The move is Google's latest ploy into the telecommunications industry. 2 years ago, Google launched a feature that allows Gmail users to do free video chats with other Gmail users. The company has also launched its Android operating system, which powers dozens of mobile phones made by Motorola, HTC, and others. It also backed a Google-branded phone made by HTC, which has been discontinued. Google's new web-based calls feature increases its competition with internet phone providers like Skype. Skype, which is planning an initial public offering, also has a paid service offering low-cost calls to landlines or mobile phones, similar to Google's new plan. Skype, which generated a revenue of more than $400 million for the first half of 2010, said only about 8 million of its 560 million registered users pay for their service as of June 30th. Skype didn't respond to requests for comment on Google's new offering. In green news, what a way to explore the ocean. Japan's Ice Aquarium in northeastern Japan has about 450 specimens of about 80 species on display for anyone to examine or ponder. But they aren't floating or zipping through aquariums. Nope, they are frozen in blocks of ice. Turn on the TV in Japan and you're bound to see someone slicing up a tuna or cooking show while commentators ooh and ah. It's no wonder then that during the current heat wave frying Tokyo, people are heading north for chills and eye candy in the form of giant fish popsicles. Indeed, the museum is a chilly -5 degrees. The museum opened in 2002 in the Umabachi Seafood Market, a likely place for such a display of everything from crabs and octopuses to ice from the Antarctic. Could this be the only way we'll have access to our ocean species in the future? It's a bleak thought, but for now it's a novel way to display the marine life of our seas.
Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.